Boom, shakalaka boom. You tuned in to the Free Range Human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, the head salty cracker on the radio this morning, Clay Edwards. We are streaming worldwide at WYAB.com as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. If you want to chime in this morning, your thoughts and opinions, the phone line, the Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. We're going to have a guest here at 7:35 on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Lindsay Beckham, Moms for Liberty. Going to be discussing some important bills that need to get out of committee today or they die. There's been a lot of terrible legislation this year, this session, and there's actually some good legislation apparently, but it can't get out of committee. The Senate can't seem to get anything done. We're going to talk about all that here at around 7:35. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944, 769-241-1944. Follow me on X, at SaveJXN. It's real simple. That's all my social media platforms that are for this anyway. At SaveJXN. If you're on Facebook, join the Clay Edwards Show Facebook group. We're having a lot of good times in there. It's up to almost 4,000 members. Go just type in Clay Edwards Show. Make sure you put the show on the end, and that'll take you straight to the group. All right. So I'm sitting around yesterday evening doing some work, looking for some videos to make, a little kind of show prep, just doing what I do in the afternoons. Went and got a great workout yesterday. Shout out to Chris Robinson, pushing me, holding me accountable, making me show up to the gym, not just the gym at my house. And at my gym, by the way, men are not allowed to use the women's restroom, no matter how much of a woman they pretend to be. That's one of the perks and benefits of going to a locally owned gym. If you're still working out at Planet Fitness, shame on you. I guess Planet Fitness will never be an advertiser on this show, which is fine by me. I don't need their money. And I ain't selling myself out. So I'm sitting home yesterday afternoon. And, I never got around to doing a video about the Easter night birthday shooting. I was driving in yesterday morning to Flora when I got the notification. I had to get on the radio, and I was just busy. I said, man, there's no point in talking about it 12 hours after the fact. Well, Jackson gonna Jackson. And if y'all don't know, we had not one, not two, but 3 mass shootings in Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, by FBI legal definition, mass shootings in less than 24 hours. 2 on Easter night, 1 yesterday. And one of them, the only one where somebody died, 4 people got shot. And guess where, y'all? Guess where the one sandwiched in the middle happened at, where somebody actually died? The Jasco on Highway 80 at Ellis Avenue. If you've listened to this show for more than 5 minutes, you know, I know, he knows, she know, everybody know that, in my opinion, that's the deadliest gas station, not in Jackson, but probably all of the United States of America. That intersection combined with that gas station is nowhere you want to be for any reason. Period, point blank. And it's so bad right there, Bobby Rush didn't even want the street renamed after him. When they were kind of naming after him, like, Well, I want to do a little press conference here real quick, and we're going to break down these mass shootings. I want to listen to the chief of police here. He just snuck this one in. There's still not a news report about it outside of me making a video. Here we go right here. This is Chief Wade.
The Jackson Police Department worked so many Easter egg hunts to make sure these babies were safe as they looked for Easter eggs. Now,
let me say something real quick. It says a lot about your culture and how rotten it is when the police are required to work Easter egg hunts. I mean, really. That should tell you all you need to know about the rotten culture in Jackson, Mississippi.
No coincidence whatsoever. But this incident at the gas station, this incident on Brown Street is going to overshadow all those good things.
Balloons and shell casings, two things you never want to see in the same area. But that's what you'll find near Mary C. Jones Park along Yates and Brown Streets.
Everything was cool. Everything was cool before that fight broke out.
Tyrone Williams, who went back to the area the day after the shooting, says he witnessed it all.
Man, I was right there, bro. I was right there, and I saw them fighting. So I was like, dang. So I saw the woman had reached her purse or something like that. So that's when I took off.
Jackson Police Chief Joseph Wade says he was there too just a few hours before shots rang out.
The community was out there celebrating the holiday weekend. They appeared to be doing some very good things with the kids. They had some little space jumps out there. They were barbecuing. They had music playing. And what was very concerning to me is that someone would bring that type of violence to that situation when people were trying to just simply enjoy themselves over the holiday weekend.
Chief Wade says 5 people were shot at the party, a 43-year-old, 20-year-old, 16-year-old, and an 8-year-old.
An 8-year-old child suffered a gunshot wound.
The 5th person shot was the alleged shooter, 19-year-old Zakiya Winford. Winford is believed to have shot herself. She faces 4 counts of aggravated assault. At last check, Chief Wade says all the victims and the suspect were recovering at a hospital and are expected to be okay. As for that other shooting at the Jasco gas station off Highway 80, Chief Wade says police are issuing warrants for 2 persons of interest.
All right, so let's run this down here. Easter afternoon, Easter evening. It's a birthday party / Easter egg hunt at one of these parks in Jackson. Some girl, an 18-year-old, I think is what they said, pulls a gun out of her purse, shoots herself, and then proceeds to shoot 4 or 5 other people, including a 16-year-old and an 8-year-old. I'm not sure if she's counted in the 5 that got shot or if it's 6 that got shot, including her. Irrelevant. She shot an 8-year-old. A 16-year-old, which a 16-year-old is just good killing age in Jackson. That's who's doing most of these killings. So I don't really, hard to consider them a kid anymore. 8-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a couple other folks. By all definitions, it's a mass shooting, except she used a pistol and she ain't white. Fast forward a couple hours. Again, the deadliest gas station in the deadliest city in America. Jackson, Mississippi, the Jasco. Guys, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you ever see a Jasco being built, you ever see a sign that says coming soon, Jasco? It's too late. You've waited too long. Pack what you can, throw it in your car, leave. Let the bank have the house. I got some people who will buy them. They'll put some renters in it, some low-income renters. You know, take what you can get the hell out of Dodge. 4 people shot. 1 dead. And they haven't arrested the guy yet. I mean, who am I to tell JPD how to do their job? But at this point, given all the murder and mayhem that takes place at the intersection of Highway 80 and Ellis Avenue at the Jasco, why don't you just put a little substation right there? Just keep a car there at all times. Now, this is Jackson. They'll just move across the street. They'll just move their murder and mayhem across the street to the Dairy Queen. But, I mean, at least do something. You know, now I rarely ever, if never, agree with Chokwe on anything. But him and the other black Democrat mayors of all the deadliest cities in their respective states had a crime summit the other day. It's so rich with irony. They had a crime summit, and they're trying to figure out how to fight crime in their cities. You may ask yourself, well, Clay, what are they going to do? Are they going to start arresting more people? Are the judges finally going to start giving some stiffer bonds? Nope. They've decided to start arresting the business owners that these crimes happen at. That'll teach them. My one caveat is these gas stations that allow loitering, that sell paraphernalia, single cigarettes, stuff of that nature, drug bags, bongs, one-hitters, those, and then allow them to just stand outside and drink their single liquor, malt liquors they just bought. You got some culpability. In fact, you do. When I was a nightclub owner, we couldn't allow any of that kind of stuff. Because when somebody gets hurt, beat up, shot, whatever, you're liable from a financial standpoint. All right, let's fast forward to yesterday. Another Jackson gas station. Shout out to my boy Ty for sending me some footage. Clinton Boulevard. 3 people shot. Rumors from witnesses that were in my social media comments said hundreds of gunshots were fired. Multiple cars, windows shot out. Bullet holes everywhere. So if you're keeping count at home, it's 3 mass shootings. 12 people total shot. 1 dead. 1 16-year-old and 1 8-year-old shot in less than 24 hours in Jackson, Mississippi. Now, according to my numbers, that should put Jackson at 30 homicides. Let's see if WLBT's updated the murder tracker. Doing this in live time. It has not popped up yet. It was 29 last night, and I don't think they had updated, so we're going to say 30. If I'm wrong, I'll adjust. Let's see here. They're still stuck at 29. CJ LeMasters is in charge of that. He has not updated it yet. I guess they're waiting to see if some of these other people die from the gas station mass shootings. You know, I know y'all are tired of hearing me say this, but if I ran out of gas in Jackson, Mississippi, I would push my car past 10 gas stations to get back to Rankin County before I stopped to get gas. You are safer pushing it down the road than you are stopping at a Jackson gas station, especially one in the city. I mean, you maybe eyed it like High Street, something like that. And I know, man, there's some guy, I don't even know his name, but he's taking these older gas stations and he's redoing them, and they're really nice. They're like boutique gas stations, and I commend them. But at the end of the day, it's still a gas station in Jackson, and you can't control the trash that pops off out in your parking lot or at the red lights in front of them. I mean, look at that. The QT, arguably the nicest gas station in all of Hinds County. There where the old Twin Peaks and all that used to be. Basically a truck stop, right? Definitely the biggest and the newest. I guess you can always argue about the nicest. And you got somebody outside doing donuts, shooting randomly in drive-by shootings. So, hey, where's BLM? I mean, you would think that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton would be skydiving out of planes to get to Jackson, Mississippi over all these shot black folks. Shot black kids. Dead black people. But it only matters when somebody that don't look like them is the cause of their death. We'll be right back. Quick. I really want to stay on top of that. That phone number is 769-241-1944 is the Guns and Gear text line. Somebody says, unknown texter, if you are armed and stop at a gas station in Jackson, Mississippi, you could be arrested for hunting over a baited field. It is kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. Is that kind of the analogy there? I don't hunt, so the baited field reference was a little vague for me. Myram says, where did you say the gas station was at? It's on the corner of Highway 80 and Ellis Avenue. It's a Jasco. He also says we got a new listener. His name is Ricky Bass. Can he get a welcome on board? Ricky Bass, welcome on board. Glad to have you, brother. Let's see here. Chris says there's 7 Jasco gas stations in Jackson, according to Google. Well, that explains a lot. If you use my theory of if a Jasco pops up, it's too late, I'm afraid I got some bad news for you. Jackson, it's too late. There's 7 of them. I mean, they're a product of their environment. You know, I don't actually think that the people who build Jascos are bad people, necessarily. I just think that they put them in the absolute worst places. So they they become a product of their environment. And their environment is hell on earth. Let's see here. The phone line this morning, if you want to call in. Mazda of Jackson phone line. Welcome on board, Mazda of Jackson. Y'all get over there and see them today for all of your new and pre-owned vehicle needs right there on I-55 North, right up by Briarwood Drive. They're in the old Mercedes building, in case you need a point of reference. So, let's see here. I think that's about got us caught up. Let's see. Somebody said... Some of the things I don't know if I should read on air, but you know what? Until they tell me I can't, I will. Well, I guess I've already read that. Never mind. Oh, no, here it is. I was told that Jasco was a great place to meet cheap women. You know, it was also the Jasco. I don't know if y'all remember the story a while back. There was a dumpster. A homeless guy was sleeping in a dumpster. And be dang if he didn't get dumped into the back of the garbage truck. So, that sucked. All right, look. I really thought there'd be more outrage over 3 mass shootings in Jackson. I'm just shocked. 3 mass shootings. Imagine for a second, if you would, 3 mass shootings in Rankin or Madison County. They would be talking about banning guns, locking up Christians, patriots, and rednecks, building a wall around it. You know, everybody on, I have a lot of young, we'll call them Democrat Jacksonians that follow me on Instagram. They love to get in my comments, fight, fuss, and argue. You know, they all anytime something happens in Rankin County, they love to tag me. We ain't going to talk about this. Why ain't you going to talk about this? We going to ignore this? Hey, look, let me just tell you, this ain't a democracy over here. It's a dictatorship. We'll talk about what I want to talk about. But where are those people hiding back in their hole when there's been 3 mass shootings in Jackson in less than 24 hours? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And I think, I may be wrong. I had to go back and look at that third one. But I think the only person that's been arrested in any of these so far is the girl that shot herself at the birthday party. Let's see here. Looks like we got a phone call on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, Clay, it's buddy. I
Hey.
mean, the 3 mass shootings, that's not news in Jackson. That's every day. So, and of course, Kenny Stokes going to come out and say that we got to ban the gun shows. And the Capitol Police is at fault. And, you know, Jackson's going to hell in a handbasket. One thing about in Rankin County, if you happen to come out, say, a park or someplace and you're going to do a shooting, you're going to have about 50 solid citizens kill you while you're doing it. Now, myself, I consider myself a solid citizen. I got a 38 Super in the console, a 45 in the glove compartment, and a 454 Casull on my hip. And I can shoot, and I don't mind it. But, look, it's so bad in Jackson. You know, this is every day. That's sad to say. That shows a sad thing about Jackson. Only thing is left is somebody to push the flush handle.
Let me say this real quick, buddy. You know, one thing I've always said since I got started doing this is I never want to normalize all the murder and mayhem that goes on in Jackson. I want to treat every incident like it's the only incident. Because when you start normalizing this stuff, like you just said, it's just another day in Jackson, that's when it does just become another day in Jackson. And I don't, and look, maybe at this point I'm just doing this out of spite because I know it drives them crazy that I do it. But I'm just going to keep doing it. We're going to come in here and we're going to raise hell, praise Dale every time one of these events happen. And we're not getting, you know, I always say it. I want equal outrage. I want equal outrage out of the black community in Jackson, the white community in Jackson too. Y'all need to be out protesting, raising hell, marching up and down the streets, demanding no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. You know, not just when the shooter is white.
Look, I say it is sad when anybody loses their life. It is. But the thing about it in Jackson, they're not going to protest it because they don't care. The only time that they care if a white cop kills a black guy, no matter what, you know, because I don't care if he's got 300 pounds of meth on him and got a truckload of hostage women. The community in Jackson would come out. He was on the way to church reading his Sunday school lesson. He's good. Let's sue for $100 million. And which whoever killed him ought to get a community improvement award. Now, you didn't say that, I did. It's just that the population of Jackson since Katrina has gone to hell. And they don't care. They don't value life. I value life. My family, I will die for them or I'll kill for them. But they over there, it's just the way of life. And you got a lot of these idiots that just like to get on TV. You know, they don't even know the person, but they're going to get on there and mouth off about what a good person they were. And it's just, I hate to say it, but it's every day. Myself, the only time I go to Jackson is when I drive down I-20 to Vicksburg, or I'm going north to see my grandkids on 55. The rest of the time, I stay away from there.
Yeah, buddy, I got to take my break, brother. Great call this morning, man.
All right, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, look, this is going to be my hill to die on, but I always have to say this. It's kind of become a running joke on this show, the good part of Jackson. There really is a good part of Jackson, and it is, in fact, from State Street over there by Martin's and Howland Miles, that part of downtown, up to, you know, I would say around Meadowbrook or so. I mean, and coincidentally, that's where the Capitol Police now roam and control. So they have done their job. Now, has crime gone down in Jackson? No. Has it gone down inside the CCID? Yes. Which really is a shame, not that it gone down. But what does that say about JPD? They had a big chunk of the city taken off their responsibility list. And I mean, now look, we don't really have access to the numbers. I'm just looking at murder. It's down 3 or 4. That's not really a palpable number. Am I using that word right? It's not really a difference maker, 3 or 4. I mean, it is if it's your family members. I get that. But the areas around the CCID are not getting any safer. And just in theory, you would think, all right, you got the same amount of JPD officers, and they're actually growing, and they're not able to make a big enough difference with having less to be responsible for. You know, it's like if you're a manager somewhere and you got way too much on your plate and you hire an assistant manager to take something off your plate, you shouldn't have more work to still do. Your numbers, what you do, your productivity should rise. I don't know that JPD's productivity is rising. What's going on with Operation Unity? I saw where they made a bunch of arrests, got a bunch of guns off the streets. That's all fine and good. Congratulations. Keep on keeping on. But I'm just telling you, set some units up there on the corner of Ellis and 80. And if that was a different Jasco on 80, whatever, set one up there too. But there seems to be something about these Jasco gas stations. I mean, I just put a cruiser, put some of y'all little cameras with the blue lights that stay on so everybody knows where they're at. Put one of them at the corner there. Maybe that's a deterrent. I don't know. But, I mean, I ain't never been a cop. I just look at things through a lens of thinking, me, myself, if I was a criminal, am I going to commit the crime when the cops are in my line of sight? The answer is no. I'm going to save it for another day. So at this point, do like Brandon does, or Rankin County Sheriffs, or whoever it is. I know Brandon was doing it. I know y'all got some old beat-up cruisers that you can't use no more. Clean one up. Just go park it somewhere. You would be amazed, and put a dummy in it, a mannequin or something, an inflatable. I bet you they make an inflatable police officer on Amazon. Put an inflatable in it and just park it randomly throughout Jackson, close to these gas stations, and watch crime go down. Now, I know the car will actually just get stolen. The wheels will get stolen off of it. But it's still, for passerbys, it will look like a deterrent. What else are you doing with them right now? By the way, I ordered some Trump shoes yesterday. The gold ones, the bad boys, the real deal Holyfields. That's not an April Fool's joke. They will be in 7 to 10 days. I'm going to be rocking these. We'll be right back with Lindsey Beckham on The Clay Edwards Show.